A very good morning this Wednesday morning, and the days are rushing quite Tuesday morning, sorry. Tuesday morning, and the days are really, really fast. But of course, we just get to enjoy every day as it comes. My name is Christine Mutindi, your host on Afama's Media Breakfast Show. Now, you can always catch us on our social media handles on Facebook, Afama's Media, on Twitter at Afama's Media, on YouTube, Afama's Media, and on Instagram, Afama's underscore media. Now, the video you have just watched is about pesticide, how you spray your pesticides on your farm, what you need to wear, the safety precautions, and what you need to know what you need to know about pesticides and how you spray them. And this is because we care about you, our farmers, and we want you to be safe, because so that you can watch us every other day right here on our farmers media. Now today we're going to be talking about soil degradation, and that is why we played that video, so that we show you and we get to understand together with you what happens when you use too much pesticides on your farms, how it affects your crops, and everything that comes with it. So stay tuned right here on our farmers media, and you'll get to watch that video later on, just as I'm getting directions from my director that we'll get to watch the video much more. So make sure you concentrate, get your notebook, your pen, and your coffee, because the bus has started rolling. And we're going, because we'll be talking about soil degradation, and of course we'll get to tell you everything what is happening in our agricultural sector, what you need to know, all the updates and all the events that are happening in our agricultural sector. So please stay tuned right here on our Farmers Media, and we'll also get to tell you about the traffic, where you're going. You need to know how the roads. Oh, I am sorry today, I need my coffee stronger. So how the roads are looking on your way to work or from work. We know there are people who go for night shift. So please, before you sleep, make sure you watch our shows right here on Farmers Media. We get to tell you about the weather, because the weather and agriculture, very important, and they go hand in hand. So we'll get to do that as well. And we'll be talking about soil degradation. What are the conditions of our soils? What are we doing? What we need to do? What are we doing that we need to stop doing? And what are we not doing that we need to start doing right away? And of course, just an update also. Yesterday we had in Turkana County some 500 families. They received relief food, and this is maize, beans, and cooking oil. And this is going to go a long way, because we understand and we know that in some parts of Kenya we have some areas that are still feeling the pangs of drought and the pangs of hunger in those areas. So around 500 families, they received relief food, maize, beans, and cooking oil, and that was a part of giving back to the community by a circle of teachers in that area. And those are just some of the updates that we have for you, and more of that. We'll get to sample of all of those and what is happening. And remember, yesterday we also did celebrate World Soil Day. It was yesterday, so there was so much education about soil, and there was a webinar that is going to be running also later on our social media handles in 2 sessions. So please make sure you watch that, because we did celebrate World Soil Day. And soil, as I said before, it is very, very, very vital and important for agriculture. So you need to do that, so that you know how to take care of your soil, because we need that. And as our slogan says, that is where food begins. Soil is where food begins. That was a theme for yesterday, as we did celebrate that day. And this week on our shows will be Matters Health, soil health. We'll be looking at soil degradation. Yesterday we did look at the importance of soil mapping. Today it is soil degradation. So we'll tell you everything about soil health. So on that note, probably I take a short breather. I want to go for a stronger cup of coffee, because as you can see, some words are missing, but I'll be back stronger and better. So please make sure that you stay tuned right here on Farmers Media.
Pesticides can be very harmful to humans and environment if they're not properly handled. Safe handling of pesticides involves proper selection and careful handling during mixing and application. However, as useful as they are, they're inherently toxic. Here are some ways you can handle pesticides for your own safety, your farms, and the people around you.
We are looking at reduced accumulation of obsolete pest control products in the country as one. We are also looking at the associated conservation of environment and also protection, conservation of beneficial insects such as pollinators and predators, which are used to control other pests.
Before you use the pesticide, read the label and leaflet carefully. Measure the required quantity of pesticide.
You have to have adequate clean water for the mixing. Adequate meaning enough to dilute the pesticide and also enough to do the cleaning of the equipment and yourself after the application. During the mixing process, you are also supposed to be wearing your personal protective equipment or PPE, and this is to avoid exposure to the pesticides.
Applicators and handlers need to wear appropriate personal protective equipment specified on pesticide product labels by pictogram. In hot and humid climates, the wearing of additional protective clothing may be uncomfortable, and pesticides should therefore be applied during the cooler hours of the day. Care should be taken not to touch any part of the body with gloves while handling pesticides. Avoid spillage and prepare spray fluid in well-ventilated area. Do not eat, drink or smoke when handling pesticides. Check the spray equipment before use for any leakages and accurate delivery of spray solution. The nozzle should be directed to the side, away from the body. This prevents applicators walking into the spray cloud or recently sprayed foliage. Inspect equipment regularly for leaks. Leaking equipment should be repaired and the skin should be washed after any accidental contamination. While applying pesticides, be sure to follow application instructions precisely. More is not better. Unnecessary and/or incorrect application can result in exceedance of maximum residue levels, which can make the produce unmarketable.
All consumers want to eat safe food. So whenever there is an issue of what we call exceedance of pesticides, or what we call maximum residual levels of a particular pesticide, then what happens is that the market becomes very concerned, because they want to assure their consumers that they are eating safe food, which basically is healthy. And then what they will do is that they are going to discontinue the supply of the products that you're exporting.
In contrast, responsible and correct pesticide use following good agricultural practices protects the crop and keeps residues within acceptable limits required for sale. Incorrect application of pesticides can damage the crops and have a negative effect on human health and the environment.
The vision is basically to ensure that we can bring as many farmers to understand the importance of safe use of pesticides, to understand the institutions that are involved in regulation of pesticides, to understand that pesticides, when used well, will support production or increase production, and more importantly, the risks associated to the environment from pesticides.
Once you're finished applying the pesticides on target crops, empty the spray tank completely after spraying. Spray any remaining spray mix on the ground of the treated crop. Triple rinse and puncture the empty pesticide containers and place this in a safe place for disposal. Ask your supplier or agro dealer about a collection scheme. Clean the spray equipment immediately after use. Decontaminate protective clothing and footwear through following proper laundering or cleaning instructions. Wash the hands and body thoroughly with soap water. A sprayed field must be marked and unauthorized entry should be prevented. In case of suspected poisoning, please refer to the label for instructions and call the Poison Center on toll-free line indicated on the label. Report the specific pesticide used. Mishandling pesticides could have adverse effects on not only plants but also humans and the environment. Proper care and instructions should be adhered to always. Farmers are advised to attend available trainings on good agricultural practices and pesticide use within their counties to ensure safety while handling pesticides. Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club and by extension African farmers. The whole idea behind Farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an entrepreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision, they can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental, Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of a farmers media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
I am Kisai Meitamei, a farmer from Kajiado West. I'm the chairperson of the Kajiado Beekeepers Cooperative Union and also Kajiado Beekeepers Cooperative. A farmers media has taught me a lot on safe use of pesticides. I think there is need to understand there was a farmer who had his cows and he had sprayed his cows with a pesticide that was supposed to be sprayed on a farm, and 21 cows died. And I'm so glad that you guys have been able to train me on the safe use of pesticide, how I need to spray my farm, what time I should spray my farm, just to also cater for the safety of my bees, because I told you guys that I'm doing a lot of beekeeping. So I need to at least coordinate the activities in my farm and also to ensure that my plants are okay and my bees are also okay for everything to run smoothly.
My name is John Moshiri Gonziri. I'm a farmer in Kajiado County. I deal with greenhouse, grow cabbages and basically vegetables, but also I'm trying to venture to other crops outside. Kajiado is somehow dry, so I'm trying to adapt to that. The first time I heard about safe use of pesticides was through a farmers media. We have a club, African Farmers Club, where we get the information about farming and we really rely on it. When I heard about the safe use of pesticide, I was so curious because initially just used pesticide, sometimes very expensive, but you see now they have educated me that they have shown me I don't need to do pesticide every time now and then. There is that gap which is good economically. I'm able to control the pest, and also I'm also able to save, to use a small amount of pesticide for a big shamba. What I like about this campaign, initially we used just to to close our nose with maybe an old cloth and then spray. Sometimes it brings broken on our lungs and health. It was very hazard, but we didn't know that it's hazard until now this campaign came along, and then it was shown how to use the correct key. And I wish we continue on that key of getting the information. We're going to appreciate a lot.
Mimi naitwa John Kinyanjui Kuria. Mimi ni mkulima hapa Kajiado Kitengela. Nimejifunza mambo mingi kutoka kwa Farmers Media, jinsi ya kutumia dawa sana sana kwa kupima, na wamenisaidia sana. Hata neighbors tumekuwa tukienda hapo tunasoma vitu mingi sana, na imetusaidia sana hata vile kusoma kwa chupa, kutumia na label kwa label, alafu vile una mix, na wametusaidia sana. Sasa tuna hiyo shinda sana.
Welcome back to Afama's Media, this breakfast show. And as I said yesterday, I never walk alone, so I'm joined by none other than
Mwakio Robert.
welcome. How's your morning?
My morning is good. I woke up well. Thank God. Everything is fine today. A nice Tuesday.
Yes. I said Wednesday, so I think in the when I was in the introduction.
Your brain is working overtime, eh?
Yes, I'm working overtime. That's why I needed just a cup of coffee, strong coffee.
I always tell people coffee, man. You know, try to limit yourself to most 3 coffees per day.
3 cups of coffee.
Yeah, for the sake of your health, your heart,
it's
and your body. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Don't drink too much caffeine. Don't let your body get used to very strong caffeine. Yeah.
Okay. So if you see, if I take 3 cups of coffee, and right now I'm saying Wednesday and it's Tuesday, don't you think I'll say Friday instead of Wednesday?
Yeah, I know.
Or Saturday.
I know.
I'll just fast track. Yeah, so today we just want to, before we get to soil degradation, we just look at the newspapers. And something interesting we have in our inset today, we have Kenya Startup, and this is a company that is making pre-cooked legumes, dried legumes and beans and ndengu, green grams. Yes.
Yeah, do you know how legumes are very important, not only to the soil, but also to human health? I mean, the nutrition we get from legumes, very high protein, things like soya, beans, those are nitrogen fixing.
So if they are pre-cooked and just packaged, do they maintain their nutritional value at that point?
Yes.
They're saying that they're working with Calro, and they have new varieties of green grams and beans, which are of higher nutritional value, and they're pest resistant and suitable for arid and semi-arid areas. And you know, when we hear pest resistant, we quickly shift to GMO. And that is another different topic, but we don't want to dwell with that.
Because this word GMO should not cause, it's not supposed to cause issues, or it's not supposed to create controversies every time we talk about it, because it will reach a time where we have no option but to embrace GMO. It will reach a time, and mark my words.
we will replay it and see what Dr. Makio said. He said that there will come a time. You're foreseeing it.
Yeah. There will come a time where we will not. There's no way we're going to. There's no way we are going to stop, or we are not going to, say that we're no longer going to look at GMOs as something that is dangerous. So we have to be to embrace, like I tell people, embrace technology, open-mindedness. Yes. Yeah, we need to be open-minded.
And actually, this company is saying it is called Nature Lock Foods, and they're saying that they're having quite a challenge convincing farmers to grow these breeds on a large scale, because they fear they might fail to get the market. And right now, you realize that this company is cutting off the middlemen. So it goes directly to the farmer, buys the product, and they come and they pre-cook it and pack it. So now they're trying to convince the farmers to grow these varieties they have in large scale. But the farmers are feeling, they're getting some resistance from the farmers.
Of course, there's a problem with Kenyans accepting change. That's a big issue with Kenyans, change, anything that is change, we take that one step behind and take a look and see how, how it's going to affect. You see, remember, I keep on talking about the story of quails. When something goes, when people feel like it's going to be a very nice economic opportunity, we all go all there, jump in, all of us. And,
like the issue of the quail eggs we were talking about last week.
Yeah, so it's the back seat kind of look, where we look at things, we take a back seat and see how things will work out. If it works out, that's when you'll see people, watu wenye wako na pesa, people remove money from which quarters.
Fixed lock account.
Yes,
and start investing without even doing research.
Yes, yes, you'll do that, they'll go full throttle, Yeah, that's the Kenyan for you, or that's the African farmer for you.
Wow. And again, just looking at another one, we have the Ministry of Agriculture governors and Council of Governors. They have pledged to enhance food production. And they're saying that the price of a 90 bag of kg of maize, the CS for Agriculture wants to reduce it to 1,400 Kenya shillings. Because right now it is being sold at between 5,400 and 5,800. So it's going to be, he wants to
It reached 5,000?
Yes.
Wow, last I checked it was about 3,000.
Yes, right now.
I can imagine what those people are going through.
Yes, he's saying that the prevailing prices for a 90 kg bag of maize is between 5,400 to 5,800 Kenya shillings. But he wants it to be reduced to 1,400.
Yeah.
Is it workable?
It is workable.
Is
but
it
now,
logical?
where is the money coming from? That's the question. With that money, because the same government was talking about cutting subsidies.
Yes.
Those funny subsidies that the president was talking about. These subsidies that have been eating on tax payment or tax money.
Yes.
So unless they tell us where the money is coming from, otherwise we don't see. I don't see any work. I mean, this is going to be a short-term solution, not going to be a long-term.
But again, I remember that there was
and another thing also, how will the farmer benefit if he's been selling at 5,000?
Exactly, that is the question. You see, and now we're being told to be patient, and in a year's time, things will be better. But I don't remember that being the promise. The promise was that immediately after the swearing in of the president, the fifth president, that the prices were going to go down. So right now we have to wait again for 1 year.
As they say, ground vitu ni different.
Ground vitu ni different.
Yes, it's not as easy as they thought. Yeah.
But again, how is the farmer going to benefit from this?
Now, I doubt if a farmer is used to sell his bag at 5,000, which I'm surprised because I knew it was about 3,400, 3,500. So if he's selling it at about 5,000, and then government wants to buy it at 1,400, you know, that is loss. That's almost 100% loss.
Exactly.
They're not making any
anything
profit
out of
that.
And there's someone here who's saying that the farmer is not going to sell the maize unless it is extremely necessary for them to sell.
But you know that also they'll also go to waste. I mean, where will the maize go to unless you sell it out of in other countries like the neighboring countries, which maize is not staple. You see, the only way we're going to get out of this maize paradox is just us shifting our lifestyle. Let's not put too much emphasis on ugali all the time, because
how do we change our lifestyle?
Embrace other forms of other foods.
We take maize. We take ugali from cassava flour.
We can make ugali from cassava. We can make it from millet. We can make it from sorghum. We can make it from these finger millets we were talking about.
Yes.
So many arrowroots are there, which thrive almost the whole year.
Arrowroots make ugali?
Yes.
Oh no, I have not tasted that.
Then you've heard of fufu?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that is arrowroot.
Maybe I'll ask Divine to even tell me more about fufu.
Yeah, fufu is made out of
from cassava
yams.
flour?
Yeah, it's made of yams, and some from cassava. Yeah, some from the nduma.
But that takes a whole time to make. You know, ugali, just in 10 minutes you have your meal ready.
What about rice? If you rice is even takes shorter time. Yes, so.
So you said that we need to really change our lifestyle.
Yeah, change our lifestyle, and we'll be able to cut out some of these problems that we're having, because you know this maize farming industry is a $1 million industry. I mean, there are cartels who have their roots entrenched deep into it, that if you decide to cut off a few things, people will be destroyed here.
But again, these cartels have been there since the 1980s. So I wonder, why are we politicizing again? Why do we have cartels in the maize industry? What is happening?
Because it's called the shift in... can I call it
paradigm shift?
Paradigm shift, even shift in goalpost, where it's our time to eat. Your time was over, now it's our time to eat. So it's like that shift now. Everybody wants to, to take the piece of that cake.
They want to have a piece of that cake on the maize industry.
Yes. So, and that's where they realize there's money. There's money in
maize.
In maize farming. There's serious money there.
Wow, and quite interesting, another one here. And I know that you are an expert in aquaponics. So this is quite good news for you as well. We have a 2.5 billion Kenya shillings project in Kisumu that will revolutionize the aquaculture sector.
Yeah, especially now that people are really struggling. The people, or especially the fish farmers, are really struggling. There's that depletion of fish due to overfishing and other things. And then we also had these fish cage farmers who actually suffered a lot of deaths from the fish. We had one of our farmers here called Frida who lost a lot of fish because of no, not Frida, sorry. Frida, no, not you. I know you lost the fingerling. Sorry.
Yes.
The fish, the farmers who are doing cage farming in Lake Victoria. So most of them who lost their fish actually pondering on what to do next. Lost millions in investments.
I saw that online.
Yeah, they lost millions in investments, and this is where now the county government needs to step up and look at viable solution and embrace and process and see how to mitigate. Not like somebody said, these things, like some of these projects, people get into this project without any government intervention, without any government support.
True.
When things start going well, that's when you start seeing government, taking a look.
Chipping in and trying to.
Some of these initiatives should be purely government funded. Or government supported to help these guys. Not like in Kenya, you get into business, you sail alone. You're a one-man sailor. You don't know what will happen when the winds start blowing.
You don't even have an exit plan for
you don't
that
have an
specific business.
So you struggle alone, you suffer alone, you endure losses alone, and that is and unfortunately you have the government. It's supposed to see your back, to watch your back, which it doesn't. It's very and then. Funny enough, I have people who work in the government, friends and former classmates. Them, on the other hand, say it's the people who don't reach out to the government. They want to do their things blindly without getting any consultation from the government.
So how is someone supposed to reach the government if they're really struggling with their own investment already?
Trust me, I can even give you, I can even show you. There's some of these extension service workers from the government who won't pick up your phone. You'll call them, they look at your phone, they don't pick it.
So how is a small-scale farmer supposed to get hold of that specific ministry if they're not even...
Walk to their office. Go there, tell them, I need this service. If you can't tell us live on our faces, we are sorry, we cannot, so that we can go to the central government and say, those people cannot do it.
Yes.
Can the central government do it?
Yes.
If they can't, we say, sawa, we are alone.
Tumejaribu, imeshindikana.
Tumeenda, tumejaribu. You document it actually. If you go to the office, you even tell the secretary, can you sign for me here that I came? I tried to meet the fisheries expert, but he wasn't there in the office today. Kindly sign for me here. He signs. You come back the following day. If he's not there, he signs. So the next time you have stakeholders meetings, they come there and then you just tell them, you see, we've been coming to your offices. Nobody's there.
But you see, I also feel like the farmers get tired of that going to the office again and again and again because you're being turned down.
Of course.
So if I'm being turned down and I have my fingerlings and they have to be taken care of, I go to the Department of Fisheries and there's no one there. And they're not even willing to sign that document.
Trust me, do you know there's a time I went to Kilimo House in search of some information when we wanted to start duckweed. I went and asked...
Duckweed, what is
duckweed, Azolla. Azolla and duckweed.
Yes, Azolla family.
Yeah,
yes.
So me, I specialize much in duckweed, not Azolla. Duckweed. So duckweed, I went and asked about duckweed and trust me, nobody in that sector of the Kilimo house I'd gone to knows anything about duckweed. That was in 2015. I went.
Is there no department? Is there no one specified to do the research? This is upcoming. This is upcoming. This is what our farmers are doing. So
No, I don't know what really. By that time, 2015, not so many people had known much about duckweed farming.
Yes.
When I went there, I told them, I want to specialize in duckweed farming, and I want to see if I can be able to. They were like, we do not know what you're talking about. So I said, I want to go. I want to see if the government can support in this journey. Like, the only way we can support you is probably in providing for you transport, giving you some farmers extension service specialists. You go there the following day, nobody knows about that.
Really?
Yeah. Hatukuambiwa. So that is where the journey ends.
So you have to now stop.
Yeah.
So imagine if you were feeling that pressure and you have tried. Imagine someone out there, they have...
Funny, I was just from the US by that time. I just relocated back to Kenya. And I was just still comparing how the American government is so supportive, yeah? If you want information, you can call. I'm not saying the whole, talking about like the state where I was, if you want information, they are ready to give you, they are ready even to work together with you and fully support you. So I was having that mindset that I can go there and then probably they can assist me.
You get the same responses you did.
Yeah, which I was a little bit disappointed. But fast forward, 2020, things changed. Things have changed in Kilimo House, and people are more proactive, people are more supportive, they are ready to embrace you. I was with some of these, I was with one of the secretaries in a live consultation meeting in, I think in Nairobi, where we had a very good discussion, and I realized these guys have lots and lots of information. The policy papers, the resources are so much, but unfortunately what they were saying is people don't reach out.
So right now things have changed, but now again, I'm asking for someone who has tried and they've been turned down. Fast forward, for you it was okay. But now imagine for someone who was turned down and they don't know that things have changed now. And they have already given up. Like the policies are good. But again, why can't they just also go out there and tell the people, we have changed things, you can come and talk to us, we will engage you?
It's quite hard to just, once a mindset has already been made, yeah?
Yes.
I thought if I tell people, Christine is a snob, yeah? I've already made a mindset. I already made a conclusion, yeah? So however much you try to change, it will take a lot of effort from your side, yeah? Because just that mindset, and negative news spreads faster than positive news.
Yes, exactly.
If I go tell other people, I tell our producer Divine, I tell all the other people that Christine is a snob. By the time you try as much as possible to change our mindset, it will take a lot of effort from you.
Yes.
And most of the time we'll be like, okay, let's see if she's really changed or she's trying to get something from us. Now that is what's happening even to the Kenyan government, especially in the field of agriculture.
Agriculture, yes.
Where people are like, these people really, there's that doubt. We still have doubts that these people can really help.
Because I do not understand how sometimes you find I understand that every county government has a department. Let's say, for example, the Department of Fisheries.
A fully funded department.
Fully funded.
Yes.
But in that whole area, we only have one farmer who's doing fish farming.
Yeah, because not so many people are into fish farming because number one, lack of knowledge, number two, lack of resources. Number three, also look at the eating habits of the people around there. Not so many people will say, me sijui nitakula, I'll eat fish here. No. Now, you see why Central has now overtaken Nyanza and the Western Province in fish intake. Because of that paradigm shift. People used to believe, samaki ni ya watu wa belongs to people in Nyanza.
Yes.
For a long time, people used to. Right now, believe me, Central Province is number one consumers of fish. All the fish from Lake Victoria and China, get finished in Central Province. And funny enough, you'll be shocked. The number one fish that's eaten so much in Central Kenya is catfish.
Wow.
People love catfish so much. Yeah.
So this means that probably the government, the county government of that area is doing so much to educate.
It started
people.
with economic stimulus. Remember when Kibaki's government decided to start fish ponds for people, because they realized fish pond farming is one of the easiest and one of the most profitable business somebody can get into. Now when they got into that, some didn't perform well, but the others who embraced. There's somebody here in Muranga who's doing serious fish farming, serious, that he supplies the whole of Kenol, the whole of Muranga town, one person, several fish farms. He converted part of his coffee field to just concentrate on fish farming, and he's getting very good support from the Muranga County government. And by the Muranga County government, other county governments like Kakamega, Vihiga, just to name a few, are really supporting fisheries in their counties. Their counties that if you need fingerlings, they are ready to provide you. In fact, I was talking to a client of mine in Kibwezi. I asked her, can you go, instead of us struggling to get fingerlings from where we normally get because of the distance to Kibwezi, can we be able to source it within the region? Because definitely the county government, your county government definitely has a way. It has a fisheries department.
It has.
They're supposed even to be doing for you your pond for free.
Okay, I didn't know
and
that.
people spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands. In fact, I'll be inviting one of my friends who's a fisheries expert who builds fish ponds across the country. I'll invite him this week we talk about fish farming. So stay tuned this week. So there's a lot. I mean, we have so many private people who are doing fish ponds for people.
So if the government is supposed to even construct
and give you dam liners, give you fingerlings.
And the fingerlings.
Yes.
Okay. So if the government is supposed to do that, why is it not doing that? Because we have some areas. Then these are some of the steps we should be taking to ensure that we have food security in our areas.
Yeah.
Why is it not doing? Because as I asked before, you find that a county government has that department, but at the end of the year, a financial year, what happens to that money?
It goes back.
It goes back.
Yeah.
So it should have been used.
Probably it is capacity building is also a challenge, because are people ready to embrace? You tell people, I want to do, and I've seen this. When we've had discussions, training, we tell people about how easy it is to do fish farming and whatnot. And the first question people ask is, how much is the food? Where do I get the feed? They do not know that feeds are everywhere. Fish feed, so many agrovets are selling fish feeds these days. Number two, fish are not like cows or chicken that eat too much. They eat, they exhaust your budget.
Yes.
So fish is actually it's very easy to maintain fish.
But again, I also have a problem, Dr. Mwakio, with the benchmarking. If the county governments go for benchmarking in other counties, for example, let's say Makueni County or Machakos has gone to the parts of central Kenya, let's say Kirinyaga County or Muranga County, and they have gone for benchmarking, and they find that those people have embraced fish farming. What is the benchmarking for if they cannot borrow some of these things and take them to their counties?
I love the way you say these people. You ask yourself, which people from the county?
Oh, sorry.
No, you ask, the question comes in, who are they taking to benchmark?
Exactly.
Are they taking the MCAs? Yeah, MCA will come and sit in his office, sits in his car with the information. He's not a fisheries expert, so why was he going to benchmark in the first place? So
this means that, thank you very much, you have brought that very well. So this means that they also have to select who's going for the benchmarking.
Let's say, like, for example, as we are not in the fisheries, in the ministry, we are not in Ministry of Agriculture in any county, but we know individual farmers. I can name you farmers. This one does this one does that. Them to where this one does that. If you need fish, or if you need sukuma wiki, or if you need onions, I'm one call away from a farmer.
Yes.
Now, fisheries, if it's fisheries, a county wants to benchmark or wants to go and see how people do it. Oh, I went to a place in Rwanda. There's this guy in Kigali who's supplying, Rwanda is partially a landlocked country. But there's a farmer who's done fish farming in his farm in Kigali, just from a river, a river that's passing somewhere. He's supplying the whole of Goma. Goma is in Congo, where I told you guys we had gone to also benchmark.
Yes.
This guy is just doing fish ponds. He's done like in each fish pond has about 2,000 fingerlings. He has about 200 of them. Every day, fish are harvested, taken to the plane in Kigali airport, Congo. He makes a lot of, and he used to use KQ now. Excuse me, he uses Ethiopian Airlines.
So he's doing quite well because 2,000 fingerlings for
2,000 fish. Yeah. Per whatever. Yeah, per pond. So this guy does about a ton probably a week.
That is good money, and this is why I'm still asking and I'm still concerned for the benchmarking, because I hear there's benchmarking.
No, but I'm still ish about that benchmarking. Yeah.
Why?
Okay, who are you taking for benchmarking?
My problem is not, at least I know there's benchmarking. Okay. Now the issue of who you're taking, that I support you there. But don't be ish about it. I am for benchmarking. It needs to be there. It literally needs to be there. We need to borrow. You know the way you borrow when you're doing scholarly articles? You borrow from here and there and there. You need to do that. But you also need to do that in connection and in conjunction with the experts.
Yeah, I wholesomely agree so much that benchmarking or just visiting our farms is very important.
Yes.
But also, that being said, we also need to understand the basic components. Yeah. For example, you want to take a fish farmer to benchmark. Yeah. He already has his pond or her pond, has everything. Yeah. What in particular do you want to take guys maybe in Rwanda to see?
Yes.
If all of you are still doing fish farming, what is it that you want to see? Maybe a few things like value addition. You want to see how this person does value addition, or how he does his harvesting, how the kind of feed this person gives the fish, you see. Now, with that, it's supposed to encourage and disseminate or pass out the information to other people. Now, the problem comes in why I was telling you I'm in this country. And in different county government, the people who are normally taken, I don't know if it's just other county governments, but what I know from what I've heard, most of the people or most of the budget set aside for these benchmarkings and whatever you're talking about are set aside by the county government, and the MCAs are the ones who pass those bills and budgets. But they're the same guys who go for those benchmarking.
So they do not even take the qualified people. So if they go there, they're just going for a visit.
Yeah.
They're not going to get the right information.
I'm yet to know, unless anybody knows from the comment section, unless anybody knows who's been ever taken by the county government or their county government. We've seen the bus written county government.
County government, yes.
Yeah, that's brought farmers there. Yeah, but I think there are county governments that have taken farm, especially those who are in dairy farming. Yeah, that one I've seen. But there are some that have never. Because
speaking of fish farming, I remember we have our immediate neighbor at home. He has a very, very big, when it was being constructed, we used to say it's a swimming pool, and we'll be going there to swim. Apparently it was a fish pond, and he had very, very, very big fish, because once he used to just hit the end of the fish pond with a metal, and the fish would come running, and they were quite huge because you see them just jumping, and they were huge. But right now, believe it or not, right now it is as dry as it can be.
Yeah,
there are no fish. It is just that. So
do you know, it's the issue here is how you can start. And then we also have problems with finishing in Kenya. You know, somebody starts something very well, so much pumped up, yeah, but when it comes to finishing, like a couple of years, if you're not resilient, you just give up very easily, and that's the issue I've seen with people.
I think it's what you said earlier about being alone in this business. You're in this venture, but you are alone. There's no one to support you. So we need like a platform also of people who feel the same. Like I see people on social media asking, for those who are going home for Christmas, wale mumefika, what questions are being asked probably by the mothers-in-law, tusaidiane kwa hii group. You see, like tusaidiane wale tuko kwa hiyo kikundi. I think that also should happen to farmers across the country and across the world.
True.
You get to connect and you just get to learn what is happening. What are you doing on your side that we're not doing on our side?
That's sharing ideas, what is this that you're doing that I'm not doing right?
Yeah.
And like Jackie says, some Kenyans are very stingy with information.
Very stingy. Very. Have you never seen someone with a very nice coat and you ask them, nahi ulinunua wapi? It's like, hata sikumbuki. It's not like that I don't remember. I know, but I don't want to tell you so that you get one like mine.
Yeah, there are people are that way. They don't want to
Yes.
give out information,
Yes.
and unfortunately, that is the sad part of it.
But the good thing is we are here, and that is why our slogan says "Connect, learn, and grow."
Yeah, but
We're here to connect
information
the
is
farmers.
free.
Yes.
We tell people come get information. We're giving you information for free.
Yes.
But people don't want it. People are not interested.
Yes.
Some people feel like agriculture is just a part-time thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Agriculture is good. And now, as we wind up just some of the stories, we have boom for Machakos County coffee farmers, because a Kuwait-based company is going to start there to base a branch of it in Kenya, and they're going to buy coffee directly from the farmers in Machakos County.
That is good.
Coffee
No. See,
farm.
that's a very nice, because some of these county governments can have direct links with
To the farmers.
yeah, links to the farmers and links to funding
Companies, yes.
and companies and other things outside. Yeah.
That is quite good, because the farmers are going to enjoy benefits, huge benefits, because the company is saying that they have tested the coffee because it is available in Kuwait and they like the test, so they are going to support the farmers. And now on that note, maybe we take a short breather, but we will be back. Now we're going to come back with our topic of discussion, and that is soil degradation. And of course, we will not be alone. We will be joined by Mr. Ahmed Abdulaziz of Kokoli Fertilizer, and none other than Mr. Noah Kadima, who is the founder of Farmers Media. So it is going to be a very, very interesting topic you will not want to miss. And that is on soil degradation. What do we need to do? What are we not doing? And how do we regenerate our soils? I am not an expert, but I will be here and I'll tell you all the information and we will get to learn. And as our slogan says, we have said, connect, learn and grow. So stay tuned right here on Farmers Media. See you after the short break. Welcome back to Aftermath Media. And now, did you know that aflatoxins can be found in peanuts, peanut-driven products, and animal byproducts? Aflatoxins are the most potent carcinogens and are known to cause liver cancer in humans and animals. Wow. And infection severity increases when drought, high temperatures, and high humidity simultaneously occur. To learn more about this campaign, visit the Markup Unido website. We will also be sharing more information on our website at afamas.com. More information on our website at afamas.com. You get to learn about aflatoxins and also some of these products that are affected by aflatoxins, such as peanuts, chili, and black pepper. And soil is the primary source of aflatoxins. I bet you didn't know that. For more information, please visit our website afamas.com and also Markup Unido website to learn more about aflatoxins. Now, maybe we dwell right now into our topic, and that is on soil degradation, Daktari. So we just start ahead with it, and we understand, we get to know what soil degradation is, what it causes, what are we doing that we should stop doing, and what are we not doing that we should have started doing long time ago. And again, I'm told that our soils are sick and they need to be healthy. So how do we heal them? And we just get to, as we dwell on this, and as I said before, we'll be having our experts and they will help us understand about all this. Now, Dr. Mwakio, according to IMF and the UN, the least developed countries' economies have been found to experience the highest estimates of soil erosion rates, and this was in 2001. And these countries are mostly located in sub-Saharan Africa.
And unfortunately,
unfortunately,
they say bad things happen. Can I say bad things happen to poor people most
yes.
of the time? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, basically, all these all relate to lack of knowledge, lack of information, lack of resources. So many things are causing all these issues to affect African sub-Saharan nation. But let me make a joke today. Talking of sub-Saharan,
Yes.
I hope Divine and everybody are supporting Morocco today.
Divine, are you supporting Morocco?
Yeah, I hope you're supporting Morocco. Yeah, only that I was told that Morocco does not consider itself Africa.
Wow, why?
I was hearing a morning show today. They actually wanted to join EU, I think in 90-something, in the 1990s.
How? How?
And so it's very hard, it's very bad to be associated with the African continent, yeah?
Speaking of which, I also had, I was watching comedy, and there was someone who was saying, hey, Africans, Kenyans. There was a group of Kenyan and Ugandan comedians, and they had gone to other African countries. And so when they got to Rwanda, one of the guys, they were saying they were standing in a line and introducing themselves. And they say, my name is Christine, and I am in Africa. And so everyone was looking at them and just wondering, okay, you also, and he was saying, and I come from Kenya, which is in Africa. And so everyone is wondering, Rwanda is also in Africa.
My cousin was telling me she used to work in Johannesburg, in Cape Town actually. Cape Town is very beautiful. You know, if you're in Cape Town, you won't even be thinking you're in Africa. Tell you the truth. If you're there, you'll think you're in Europe and some parts of Kigali. Anyway, when she used to tell people, you know what, I come from Kenya. Oh, you come from Africa. I've never been to Africa. And these are South African telling.
Actually, even their name says South Africa.
A black South African telling you, I've never been to Africa. Anyway,
yes.
Even us in Kenya will start telling, because Kenya, some of other countries in Africa have moved from the poverty gap. Yeah, we are no longer a third world nation. We are lower middle class income economy. So the south of Sahara part was generally talking about when they talk about south of Sahara or north of Limpopo, they were talking about they're associating it with very bad, very poor economies, very low class kind of living status, and poverty, or everything related to poverty. Back to the soils. Now, there's so many issues that associating soil degradation to also third world countries. Number one is resources. Yeah.
Yes.
Most people do not have enough resources to ensure that they practice safe agricultural practices. You see, number one, you'll want to just do your agriculture, or you do poor kinds of agricultural activities. You expose the soil to elements, to flooding, and with that, you don't know how to, because of lack of information, you do not know how to treat the soil. Some of them do. Some of them have very poor management practices when it comes to soil practicing farming. We find people doing the clearing using bushfires, and after bushfires they over-cultivate, they keep on cultivating the same crops over and over again. But we didn't even mention what soil degradation is. Yeah, tell us. I know you've done your 1-2s here. Tell us what soil degradation is. Probably there's somebody watching us just saying.
Yes, and they really want to know.
Yeah, what is this soil degradation, and what is our topic today?
I'll just try, but we will have the experts who will tell us more about that. But from what I know, I think this is human activity and related to land use and change. And it is the primary cause of soil erosion.
No. When we talk about soil degradation, we are looking at soil quality becoming poorer and poorer with time. Yeah, because soil is a resource, an agricultural resource. Yeah. But with time, the quality of soil that is used for agricultural productivity actually becomes poorer and poorer. And when I talk about the quality, I'm looking at a few things that we get from the soil, like the nutrients, the nutrients content of the soil, which is so much needed, not only by our agricultural plants, but even the normal, vegetation like grass, shrubs, and trees. So we also, as the soil becomes poorer, that is the word I'll use. Degradation is poorer as it degrades in quality, or it becomes poorer in quality. We can attribute it to different forms. We have erosion. Erosion is one of the major causes of soil degradation. When we leave the soil plain open to elements such as wind, surface runoff, and these are, you can correlate it to poor countries like Africa.
Yes.
And sub-Saharan Africa, it's noted that the Sahara Desert slowly is moving southwards. As it moves southwards, they were talking about in almost 1,000 or even less, the whole of Sahara Desert will cover the whole of the equator.
And speaking of which, I remember some time back we have a season in Ukambani where it's not really raining, but the wind is on the soil. It's so windy.
Yeah, the wild wind.
Yes. Yeah. It's so much, and in a day it can occur so many times. So I remember people used to say, "Hey, mvua imekuja sasa," and that is the type. It is just the sandy rain, and it's not really raining, but it's that. So is that also part of soil degradation?
Yes, because you've exposed the land to elements. Yeah, we need to practice things like cover crops. Having cover crops or mulching, or just covering your crops using whatever means. Yeah, by having cover crops, it holds the soil.
Yes.
Forestation, planting of trees, we talked about this yesterday, is part of soil conservation. It ensures that the soil is held. That's where we talked about the baobab tree.
Yes, the baobab tree.
I'm sure why you're having that because you're cutting baobab trees there.
Yes.
And why should somebody cut baobab trees? You know, it just beats logics.
Yesterday we didn't even get to finish that because again, if I have to, and they're just giving let's say, little product. And again, how much money do you get from the baobab tree?
You get
The mabuyu.
it's
If we're
fi-
selling it to
it's
those people who...
$500 for the whole tree,
Mm.
but the mabuyu over years it will give you the same amount. I mean, if you look at it 2-3 years and you keep on selling mabuyus, because one packet is a lot. By the way, it's about 200 shillings if you go to a supermarket.
Really? I don't buy them from the supermarket. I buy them from the vendor, and we also have one for 20
See, when you go with your kids to the supermarket,
Yes.
and our children have become, they'll go and pick, and you want this. Look at the baobab, just because it's in a supermarket, you look at the price tag, you're like, oh, good Lord, I wish I bought this even outside there.
And imagine those things, just they just mabuyu, they fall down from the tree, and I eat them from...
Yeah,
I used to eat them
it is
when
very
I was
sweet.
young.
I'll
The
share,
white one.
I'll give our producer pictures of me taking those mabuyus, and because it's part of the project I did in Kibwezi. I looked at the area, and I looked at how I was comparing the location of Kibwezi with where we were in Senegal. They have almost the same ecosystem or environment. They look similar.
Then that means I can proudly say I am from Senegal.
You can live in Senegal. Talk of Senegal, Senegal lost and left the World Cup.
They left the World Cup. They lost.
But they did good. They did very good.
They tried. I can actually say that African countries right now, they are doing very well in the World Cup. I am proud to be African.
I told you
I
Morocco
feel
is in EU.
Oh, yeah, it's in EU. Okay.
So erosion is erosion. Now let's correlate erosion and third world countries. We do a lot of farming activities. Number one, we don't farmers. The poor farmers don't have access to much information, so they don't know about safe agricultural practices. They don't have resources to practice safe agricultural activities such as building of gabions, sand damming, irrigation farming, whatnot. So the people are still doing the plowing and you leave it bare. You know that kind of farming?
Yes.
Where you plow, you leave it bare, and then you wait for probably a season. But not knowing that with this, we are experiencing climate change, which is also a biggest contributor to soil degradation. I'll come to that later. And I know our experts will discuss about that.
Of course.
Climate change has been clearly correlated to soil degradation. So you can imagine, and I hope they discuss about it in the past convention on global climate change, because if they are soil experts, I hope they put that agenda. Yes. Because soil health is totally affected by climate change, and it's there's a serious correlation. Even I was reading a research paper done by a university in Iowa State University. They have a concept paper they've written. Somebody, I think, from the university wrote a concept paper based on soil degradation and correlation to climate change. And climate change is also correlated to world population growth. Population growth results to urbanization and industrialization. This is a complex web that's interconnected. So how do we cannot solve one problem without looking at other root causes of the problem.
So it looks like we are solving one problem by creating another.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, and I tried to engage some of the farmers yesterday, and one of them was telling me that I do not need to do anything about soil testing and knowing my soil. I just need to plant and know from the outcome of the product that I have about the soil and the soil health. So it is about the product, because the plant will tell me. If I will read from the leaves of the plant. If this is happening, then I will know that this soil is not good for planting. Then I will move to another area.
Yeah, and you see, it's like I was talking about this kind of olden types of agricultural activities, like the clearing of land. You just go to a new place, virgin land, you clear it and move, and then leave it. You clear the bush, you burn. Some old-dated agricultural activities are really detrimental to the health of the soil. Other poor activities, like right now, people have just embraced the use of fertilizers
Yes.
and pesticides.
Mm-hmm.
But we do not put a check on how it's used. You go just because you know your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have agricultural knowledge, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But just because you've heard your neighbor uses this kind of fertilizer and this kind of spray to spray the pests,
Mm-hmm.
and this one to prevent weeds.
Mm-hmm.
Unaenda kwa mama who tells you, hey, I use this and that, just 5 grams, and do not an expert. You go to the veterinary store.
Mm-hmm.
You buy. You don't even. You're not even given this money selling.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't care.
He's there for the money.
Yeah. This put 5 in water and go and spray.
But again, don't you think that it has worked for us before? Like, for example, at home, your neighbor is doing this, so they give you. I even use this, so they give you and you share and you continue. So we are just doing what we did traditionally, because we are still that community.
You see, when they sell you something, there's that cautionary part they always tell you read. Yeah, even before you sign a contract, they always told read terms and conditions, because it's very important. Now, when you do that you share with your neighbor, you might even be sharing problems you do not know.
Okay.
You might. I was telling you yesterday about this pesticide called the DDT.
Yes.
Which was banned by the United Nations because of its adverse effect to the environment, and even the chlorofluorocarbons that have been banned. So if we have chemicals like that go to the soil, and these are villagers who just have access to the local what do you sell the acaricides and pesticides. Veterinary
Vet, yes.
Yeah. You go there and buy it. When you buy this from a veterinary shop, you put it in your farm without some of them can barely even read English. You just told put 5 liters in water, pour. Some of them don't even take precautions of putting on gloves, covering your face when you applying.
I knew we used to traditionally. Ukimaliza kupiga dawa kunywa maziwa.
You don't follow instructions.
So.
Yeah, you don't follow. And then I was saying this, and when people start dying of cancer in the village, start saying, oh,
Mchawi alirogwa.
Somebody in our village who's not has seen this village. There's somebody in this village has seen this woman progressing with her vegetables. Now they want her dead.
Yes, or you just say, my enemies. You know, even when you're here and you post a picture and something goes bad, my enemies from the village have started.
You accusing.
Wameamuka.
You start accusing somebody, and it's your own.
And this reminds me of a story. There was a day I was passing by, and there was a crusade, and the pastor was saying, sometimes we as human beings, wanadamu, we blame the devil for things he didn't even do.
For our own stupidity.
So he's there sitting, and he was telling us, the devil, yeye ndio mshtaki wetu kwa Mungu. So he's there asking God, see this one. I didn't do anything, so why is he blessing on me? Ananiekelea.
Yeah. Some of those blame sometimes are not his, yeah?
Exactly. So we're blaming someone for something that we caused.
Yeah.
And that is why I said we are solving a problem by creating another one.
Yeah.
And now that takes me back, Daktari. Someone else, as the farmers I was talking to yesterday, and someone else also said, I have made my own pesticide from ground paper. You know the paper?
Yeah, that is very good. I'd really even encourage people to do DIYs, do it yourself kind of things, because some of these things that were practiced by our forefathers and those guys in the past weren't just, these things were there from day one.
So it doesn't affect the pH of the soil.
The pepper?
Yes, the ground pepper.
No, kind does not. Even if it does, it's very mild. It's very mild, and there's something. Oh, there's a form. I will share probably with our producer next time. Actually, I'll just share it as we speak. There's a correlation between pH and also some nutrients. Yeah. Very few nutrients, like the major nutrients N, P, K, thrive well in they thrive well in pH from 7, pH of 7 probably to about 8 or 8.5, yeah. They don't thrive well in acidic soils.
Okay.
But now, by the time you're turning land, by the time you're changing the pH of soil, you need a lot of acidic, I don't know how I can explain it. Let's say per cubic or per square meter. For you to change the pH content of the soil, you need quite a large amount of dissolved element that will cause it to become, if it is sulfuric acid or if it nitric acid or whichever acid you get. So I'm trying to figure out which kind of acid do we get from pepper or cane. I highly doubt if we have any, because most of them are purely, even if it is acidic, it's slightly acidic, or if it's alkaline, it's slightly alkaline. That cannot have a direct effect, a significant effect to the soil. So basically, if you see, that's why I say, if you're seeing your grandfathers doing a few things, like when cuckoos used to have that, like oxidiosis or that, they used to put the pepper. They get pepper, mix it with water, put it to the chicken.
And some aloe vera. So
aloe vera, yeah. Some of those things were not used by old people for no apparent reason. They tried it over years and they saw results. Some of these things that we are seeing today are gotten because of research. They've done research and they know these are chemicals that can help, are effective, yeah. But but that's why we say with some of those traditional methods, you just don't put them down the shelves and forget about them. You can still practice. You see, like I was telling somebody in Kibwezi how you can use ash. You can use the same ash to prevent blight.
Blight, yes. I see when we used to do farming or we are planting something, I used to see my father telling us to follow him with where we used to put the ash. Follow him, so he's just scoop and put.
Yeah, even
so
even aphids and whatnot. It prevent the ash is really the ash has several toxins.
So you want to mean that this farmer is actually making his own pesticide and it's not even affecting his crops?
Yeah, it's not affecting it's affecting the animals. Ask yourself something like pyrethrum. Would know that pyrethrum repels so many insects.
Wow. I am amazed at how the ecosystem works and how we just need to follow something and be resilient with what you're doing. Because imagine this farmer making his own pepper, so he doesn't his own pesticide from ground pepper. And this is quite interesting. Now, back to soil degradation.
Yeah, I talked about forms of degradation. I talked about erosion. Second one is salinization, salinity. What can cause soil to be saline? So salinity does not necessarily mean acidic, or it can also mean alkaline.
Salty.
Can be either it can either be salty. Okay, salinity means we have dissolved ions from probably sodium or potassium ions. So this can raise the pH or they can lower the pH. What can cause this? I mean, you think about what can cause salinity.
Salinity. It can be caused by just leaving the land, leaving the soil, and then when water comes, it maybe rain comes, it washes off the good part of the soil. So the part that is left, yes, it is soil, it is tillable land, but the nutrients there are more of saline, so they're a bit salty.
Oh yeah, you're very right. You see, like when
I'm trying.
That's one of the point. Yeah, when you have surface runoff, you expose the soil.
Yes.
It can't. The water cannot seep through. Yeah. So what happens? You have the dissolved content, like elements. We have probably potassium or sodium ions that are dissolved, and with the exposure to probably sun and other things, breaks it down into probably other basic components, so that might increase salinity, or the water that is exposed, water enhances chemical activities. So probably water can dissolve hydrogen. What the water that has rained to the exposed land, it's left bare. Water comes, it gets the chemicals there, it dissolves and forms acid.
But then again, it's not like we can prevent every piece of land. So is it also that the rain is also a little? Does rain change and become a little bit salty? Or
No. I mean, what I'm saying, and then that's what I'm coming to. Yeah. Another thing is also some of the chemicals that we use as pesticides,
Yes.
caricides, fungicides, some of these chemicals, some of these fertilizers also have very high content of these trace
Yes.
these elements that can, when dissolved in water, become acidic,
yes.
like the sulfuric acid, the nitric acid, the carbonic acid. You see, so this, like I said, water enhances the chemical activity. Yeah, by dissolution, gets some of the chemicals that we use as pesticides. Yeah, left exposed in the land, the water comes, dissolves some of them. They become alkaline or they become acidic, depending on what kind of chemicals that
Yes.
were used. You see, let's say you're supposed to apply some chemical on the leaves so that aphids do not come on it, but some of the chemicals actually run to the soil.
Yes.
They drop to the soil. When rains comes and dissolves it. When it's dissolved, it becomes something else. Probably it's okay. It might be dissolved, and there's also heat, probably from the sun. Heat enhances chemical activity. The sun heat can also break it down, can help the chemical breakdown, probably to make acidic, becomes acidic or alkaline. That's one of the issues. Yeah. All this this form of soil degradation, this salinization, is all 100% related to human activities.
But okay, it's related to human activity. Basically, it's strictly on human activity.
Yes.
The salinization.
Remember what I told you about that lady who told us that her land, she wanted us to do a project in her land,
Yes,
because
I
she did a greenhouse, and when they did a soil test, they looked at the soil and told her, "You will never do anything in this soil." Whoever sold you this land knew why they were selling you this land, because there's no agricultural activity that will happen in this land of yours. And because of desperation, they did a lot of research, and they had their soil-free kind of agricultural practice that they can do. So like such a activity, like her activity, what happened to her soil is that the military who used to do practices there, they used to, do exploding. They do the gun ranges, whatnot. So the soil there was really affected by gunpowder and other activities.
Now, I have so many things that I want to ask right now, but because we just want to take a short breather, I'll be back. But I want to dwell on, speaking of, that story has reminded me of during the road construction, and this is from the Chinese company. We saw that in some of the areas we have where they blast the stones and they use landmines. Is it landmines or grenades? And they use that and they build the quarries there. So that has also affected, because the area I'm speaking of specifically, they are pastoralists. But now they have shifted to other areas because that area has already been affected. So, but we will dwell on that because that is human activity and that is salinization. But we will be back with that. We're just going to on a short breather, but please stay tuned because we're still talking about soil degradation, and I am enjoying the show so far. I don't know about you, but I'm learning a lot as I get to know the human activity and what we do to affect our soil, and what we need to do. We'll get to do that also at the end of the show, what we need to do to ensure that our soil is healthy. Please stay tuned and keep the comments coming on our social media platforms. On Facebook, Afamas Media; on Instagram, Afamas_media; on YouTube, Farmers Media, and on Twitter at Farmers Media. Please keep the comments coming on that section.
This is
a farmers
Media.
A Farmers Media.
We tell you the stories of African farmers.
Welcome back. And holiday season is here. How many days down to go to Christmas? Dr. Ari, are you ready for Christmas?
Imagine the year's going so fast.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
I do not know how the year's gone fast. But we thank God. The most important thing is thanking God for how far, seeing another Christmas,
Yes.
And things have, it's been up and down for the whole year, but what can you do? You thank God at least you're alive,
Now you understand why I was saying Wednesday instead of Tuesday.
And talking about December, but guys, be careful. There's a new wave of COVID. COVID is people. Ukipata homa sahi, make sure you go and do a check.
Actually, we were discussing that yesterday with Divine, and we were saying that there's been reported some cases in Siaya County.
Yes, yeah, COVID is there, and guys, take care. Take care.
And that is why we want to tell you about Athi Resort. Holiday season is here, and we know that our families are busy looking for a good place to unwind and have fun. The place you're looking for is Athi Holiday Resort. Now, they offer good facilities, nice food, good ambience, and secure place for kids to play, and not forgetting their luxurious rooms that are Wi-Fi equipped. Make a day to visit Athi Holdings and Resort. It is for sure a home away from your home. Now, don't forget to send us feedback about your experience at Afamas Media. Please send us your feedback, and maybe producer, you can just put the photos back. Now, Daktari, can you see that? You see the rooms.
No.
You see the drinks.
Just and it's not even far from here.
No,
okay?
no, it's not far.
There's a swimming pool.
There's a swimming pool. There's a conference room. You see that room?
Pina colada.
Yes, pina colada.
And
Yes.
we can have a conference next time, eh?
Please, we will. So please.
Nice. We can have children playing there. Yeah, now the holidays are here with us.
Yes, and you see, it's a home away from home.
Yeah.
So yes, you can actually go there you stay in your room because it has Wi-Fi. So in as much as there's COVID, please, you can go there.
When you go to, let me ask guys, you're going to a holiday, why do you even need Wi-Fi? Sometimes put it aside.
No, I want
Put
to
the
Netflix. I want to Netflix.
Okay, you're on holiday. Like there's a place we went for somebody's wedding. It's a resort in near Meru. It is several kilometers from the main road, about 30 kilometers. From there, you reach there. First thing, you have no signal, no phone signal, internet. Maybe if you want internet, there's a room you can get internet. But that is specifically for you to unwind. No communication, no nothing. No, if you're not used to this, Tembea Kenya. Places where there are hotels where you cannot, there's no network. And they'll encourage you, they'll tell you, why do you need internet for now? You signed up to come here.
I feel like that is a good place for a retreat. You know, when you go for a retreat for probably 5 days and you just need to...
They say like 60% of all our problems in this century is this thing called phone.
Phones, yeah. So
your phone can change your mood in 1 second.
So if you go to Athi Resort, let me picture that for you. Daktari, looks like when you go to Athi Resort, you'll just be in the swimming pool and the drinks area. Okay.
Probably I'll be at the swimming pool and I'll be there with the children playing with my probably my drink there.
Yes.
The pina colada, non-alcoholic.
Yes. I can see milkshakes and the fruit
shake. Milkshake. Probably when it's hot, in the joto. Right now it's rainy, so you might need something, kahawa-ish. Yes.
Oh, I see that. For me, I think I'll just be in the room, Netflix. I enjoy my own space.
That's why can't you just go home and watch your Netflix?
No, because that is, I'm going home away from home.
Yeah, then there's no point of having a holiday. The essence of a holiday is to go sit down next to the pool, talk, unwind, tour all your stress. Leave your Netflix at home where you can go and watch.
Jackie. I categorically told Jackie, maji imepita ya karai, we do not joke.
Yeah, what the essence of going for a holiday, unless now you've left your kids and you're worried about them, but if you go with your family, you go, you've made sure everything is fine, work is fine, hakuna mtu atakusumbua na kupigia calling you to disturb your... It's piece of, in fact, you can even just, I was reading somewhere where there are places where you go for holiday, they take your phone, the reception there, and that's it.
That is harassment on my end. But maybe I'll be by the swimming pool. I won't be in the water. I've had bad experience with swimming pools, so I think I have phobia. But for open seas, I like the ocean.
To talk of that, this this new MP, the young MP who went to South Sudan, you're saying he almost died in a swimming pool.
Yes. I saw his story, and he was explaining his story, how he almost died.
He almost drowned. Imagine anyway.
Yes, so yeah, so at the resort, please make sure you send us your feedback at Farmers Media. Please tell us, how was it? How was your experience? And we'll get to sample as we enjoy. So we just look like we just want to go there right now and stop this show, but we have to be here and talk about soil degradation.
Yes.
Now, back to our topic of discussion. Now, according to FAO, this is the Food and Agricultural Organization, global-led partnership, they reported that 75 billion tons of soil are eroded every year.
Yes.
And this is from arable lands worldwide, which equates to an estimated loss of $400 billion per year.
Yeah, because we don't get production out of degraded soil. That's the correlation, direct correlation.
So when they say arable land, they mean the land that we have to tilt.
Arable land is land suitable for farming. Suitable for farming. So when we have degraded arable land, and you know, most what they are talking about, this degradation is directly affected to erosion and surface runoff. Surface runoff and degradation of topsoil. Topsoil is where we have the humus. So once we have this degraded or this eroded out, which kind of farming do you do? You don't do farming. So when you don't do farming, you don't have an output, you don't have production, we don't have money. So that's money that could be converted for 400 billion.
400 billion US
that
dollars.
can serve Kenya for quite a whole. That's a whole. 400. That's almost half of our budget. Of our Kenyan, no, $1 billion.
Billion.
That is like, that can take us 2 years in our budget.
2 years.
Yeah, if we are looking at probably a trillion per, that's 2 trillion. Our budget is at 2 trillion.
2 trillion.
Yeah, that's
so
2 years.
$400 billion US dollars per year.
That's about 4.5 trillion.
Yes.
Lost like that because of soil degradation. That is quite sad.
Imagine this is worldwide, and this is just from. I'm just surprised because this means that we are there's something we are doing, and we cannot only blame agriculture.
You know that 400 billion can pay all our Chinese debts, Maramoja, and then we start thinking of other things.
Yes.
The hustler funds.
Yes.
You can now ask for hustler funds without problems.
So this means that you told me that Kenya right now we are low income. Middle income. Yeah,
low income nation. We are supposed to. We are targeting to be a middle income, middle upper income nation by 2030. That's part of the mission 2030.
But that is only if our GDP changes.
Yeah, if our GDP changes, and our GDP directly reflects to agriculture, agricultural output, and agriculture, and probably tourism. You see how tourism was really affected by COVID.
Yes.
Really affected by COVID. Now that wide gap was left to be agriculture is one that's supposed to cover that gap, because we cannot say we are industrialized. And I keep saying this, for every African country to move ahead, try to industrialize. Use the opportunity from agriculture to industrialize. Value addition can create industries. Processing can create industries. So many things, macadamia. But I'm happy because from here, just as I was driving to Isinya, from Kitengela to Isinya, you will see so many factories coming up, steel factories, feed factories. This is what the nation needs. And most of these are directly related to farming. So we need more of this, tanning companies, leather companies for Kitengela, maize factories. We need so many big, large scale, employ people.
And that is why I was saying that agriculture is not only to blame, and this is the overgrazing, overusing of land. It is not only to blame for soil degradation. Now, those companies you're speaking about, they bring about urbanization, because if they're employed in that company, they have to look for a house. So there's someone there who has land, will have to build his own houses. So because of urbanization, again, So we go back to the soil degradation again with the urbanization.
Plus-
So agriculture is not the only factor that is contributing, also urbanization.
Plus, you've heard of something called acid rain.
I've heard of it, but not really at a professional level. So maybe you can expound on that, acid rain.
So what happens is there's a lot of these factories release a lot of carbon to the atmosphere.
Yes.
Lots of carbon.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when carbon goes to the atmosphere? It mixes with water vapor.
Mm-hmm.
When it mixes with water vapor, it forms something called carbonic acid.
Carbonic acid.
Yeah,
Carbonic acid.
Mimi, I'll start charging her for.
I'll make sure that I speak to the HR manager so that they at least increase
cut salary.
Yes. I tell them, please, once you're paying me, this amount should go to, because I have already received an invoice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happens is the more the emission, the carbon emission, the more the carbon emission from factories, the more the carbonic acid.
Yes.
So the more the carbonic acid is formed in the atmosphere, it rains as acid rain. Now this acid rain now affects the whole ecosystem. It affects the soil because it changes the pH. It affects the pH of the water because we now become having acidic rain.
And the fish.
And the fish.
Okay.
So the whole ecosystem is affected. Now you can imagine industrialized nations like China.
China, yes.
With so many of this. There's a time when the Chinese skyline was just full of fog that when you're going... we call it smog. Smoke with
Smoke, yes.
with smoke with fog together. Called smog. I mean, you drive in the morning, you see mist, but that's not mist from water particles, but that's smoke from industries.
So the normal mist is from water particles.
Yes.
But this one now is from industrialization.
In industrial waste, the waste, the gases that are released from the industrial waste. So that gets into air, it mix with atmospheric water vapor, now becomes smog. So there's a time India also had that issue. So because of that, people are affected. People with asthma are really affected with that. So you can imagine if we industrialize, that's also the negative effect of industrialization. As much as people will get jobs, but what will happen to the environment? Especially a very vulnerable ecosystem like ours. The moment we start industrializing, like Kitengela is, this Kajiado County is quite expansive. We can have so many industries, but what will happen, it will really affect the ecosystem. It will affect the lands. Agriculture activity will be really affected. The very good air that we enjoy huko kwetu, tukitembea Kitengela tunasema tunasikia good air. It won't serve the purpose. Now at the end of the day, agriculture will really be affected. Soil, that like we're talking about, will be the number one culprit, the one who will be affected quite most with this kind of pollution.
So this means that the industrializations bring about acid rain, carbonic acid in the atmosphere.
It depends. You can also get sulfuric acid from it. With the long time we saw
So it depends on
fluorocarbons also.
So is this dependent on the types of industries in that area, or is it dependent on something else specifically?
So long as there's that heat, you know what happens when you heat something. Most of the time you get carbon dioxide from heating. When you get
the industrialization reminds me of a friend of mine. I have a friend of mine. Something is swollen in his forehead, and when he was younger, they were living in an area that had industries, and I think the emissions from the industry. He had something small on his leg. It was like a wound, and it took years to heal. And even right now, it just looks like a fresh wound, but it's healed.
Probably it's cancerous. You never know.
And now there's something swollen in his forehead. It's like a big something.
You see, it's related. These things cancer is related directly to some of this industrialized pollution. Some chemicals like chemicals, especially the hard metals, lead, like mercury. This can cause cancer. And if I'm to has he gone to a specialist to see dermatologist or anybody?
I pushed for that. I actually pushed for that so that he goes to the doctor and he's tested for that. Maybe they try and do a biopsy and see if it's cancerous or something.
Yeah, it is definitely, because as the age progresses, it might even become cancerous.
Yes. Now, because soil degradation, as we have identified, has so many things, what happens if today we decide as Africa, we are only going to be dependent on agriculture alone? Do you think we'll be going the right way and say we don't want industries, because industries also, and if we combine industries, industrialization and agriculture, then we are at a bad place?
What do you mean that we're going to do agriculture alone? Because that's what we are doing.
I'm saying, I mean,
I don't see any other thing that we're doing in Africa.
If we decide that we're going to produce our products and we're not going to rely on the large industries and probably leather industries and all that, we decide we're going to do coffee farming, maize farming, and rely on that without so many industries that come in.
But what is, you see, these industries are dependent on the product, yeah. So if we are doing coffee and we are doing sugar, or we are doing this, yeah, where's the end product going to? Where's the raw materials going to?
Okay.
Because we'll do coffee, yeah, we have our coffee berries, yeah. We'll definitely need a processor.
So
they need to be processed.
So what is the weighing scale?
Unless now we send them to Europe, they do that, and the same atmosphere is the same one that we are having here. Not that the atmosphere is separate from ours. So if they pollute there, they pollute our own. Yeah.
And the ecosystem is just one.
It's the same.
Yeah. And the environment is just one. That is why
you saw. That's why you saw how the world is so connected. Yeah. You saw how COVID came from one province in Wuhan.
Yes.
One province. It took 5 months. We had it almost all over the world.
Yes, I saw that. But now again, Dr. Who is the weighing scale? Where is the weighing scale? Who is keeping the balance? Because we have to maintain a balance here. Balance iko wapi?
Balance iko if we don't have checks and balances, yeah. Number one, we start from very low, yeah, to the common farmer. Actually, in the chain of productivity, or chain of production, especially the one related directly to farming, the farmer is lowest down there, is the one who's the one tilling the land directly. Now, if he can be able to look at the effect, that's why we want farmers to learn about climate change, because he's the one who's directly affected. Directly. If we are talking about benchmarking, you need to take that farmer. Don't take the MCA, don't take the MP, don't take teachers, don't take whoever, because they'll have the knowledge. And you take it back to the farmer. The farmer is like, we know all this. We know it we hear this, but we haven't seen it, because you've taken the MCA, the wrong person to do
But again,
benchmarking.
Also, the selection criteria, sorry to cut you off, but the selection criteria, even for the farmers, maybe it also might be biased, because it also might lie on the side of who knows who.
Yeah, of course.
I know someone, and that person, once they go, they will not come back and maybe be in like a group and educate the others.
Yeah, of course.
So I think we need to restructure that.
It will stay with the information.
Yes, I think the most important thing is we have to have a right channel for the dissemination of information. We have the inverted pyramid. If it comes from globally, then nationally, then to the county governments, then to the small-scale farmers and the groups. We have the certain groups for farming. Wamama wameamua watapanda mchicha.
And it's the chief who knows, the chief and the assistant chiefs who know the people there. But with this rotten world of ours, you'll have to, chief will say, what do I have out of this?
Exactly.
Because they probably are being paid per diem. You're not going empty-handed. So they'll say, from these 5,000 shillings that you're being paid per day, 1,000 is mine. Yeah, inaitwa ya macho.
Lazima ukule ya macho ya kusukumia hiyo point. So sasa, if the farmer is supposed to create the balance, what about the side of the industry? Because I am yet to And yet
That is why industries have to go through something called environmental impact assessment. Yeah, what is the effect, the direct effect to the environment? If each year they have to, I think each year they have to write, sign a report to the APR. They look at the environment impact. What is it doing? Like in Kisumu right now, I'm being told that the whole city is stinking. The whole city is stinking because of the contamination of the lake. And last time we were there, things were not good, especially to the fish. And what we're really more concerned is the breeding of the fish. We're we don't care much about the big fish, but the breeding, where they breed. If the fish are not breeding, or if the fish cannot breed sufficiently, it's the farmer, the fish farmer is one, or the fisherman is one who's going to suffer eventually. So we need the Ministry of Environment. Do we have a Ministry of Environment?
Lands. I think it's in the part of the lands. It's in that.
I think we have. I don't know. There's a ministry somewhere that needs to urgently go to Kisumu and do an environmental impact assessment on what's going on there, because it's becoming tricky. It's becoming the moment people start becoming sick, that's when you'll realize there's urgent. And as usually in Kenya, we wait for people to start becoming sick. That's when you see people moving up and down. The media will start running up and down.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is quite informative. Now, as we end the show, Dr. what will be your parting shot on how we can regenerate our soils or heal our soils?
Practice regenerative agriculture. A few things like crop rotation, healing our land, planting of legumes, preventing overcropping, overcultivation, overgrazing, being selective and being careful with kind of chemicals that we use to apply to our soils, to apply to our plants, as in terms of acaricide, pesticides. So we have to be very careful in how we treat our soil, because it's the soil eventually that is the one that will feed us. Yeah.
Wow, that is quite interesting. And from our end, that is all we had time for today. Please join us tomorrow, same time, same place, as we get to discuss matters soil. And as I wind the show, I just want to tell you a fun fact that a sheep has been jailed for 3 years for apparently killing a 45-year-old woman. The ship hit the woman, she fell down and she died. So the ship has been jailed. I don't know which jail the ship is going to be held in, but that is all the information we have. My name is Christine Mutindi. Have a lovely day.